So, have you heard about the tariff fiasco where Trump's officials are basically in full panic mode? It's all
Yep.
caused by a totally embarrassing math error.
Wait, embarrassing math error? What exactly went wrong?
Well, here's the crazy part. A conservative think tank exposed that the tariff formula used by Trump's economic advisors was off by a factor of 4. They mistakenly used retail prices instead of import prices, so it's like comparing a luxury sedan's cost to a bargain bin bicycle.
Wow, that's wild. So tariffs that should have been moderate ended up ballooning ridiculously?
Exactly, and get this. The inflated numbers meant that countries like Vietnam ended up facing a whopping 46% tariff instead of something closer to a 12% rate.
That's insane. And I guess this error didn't stop there. I heard something about penguins.
Right, it gets weirder. The same calculation even imposed tariffs on uninhabited islands like Heard and McDonald Islands, which of course only have penguins. Imagine that, penguins being taxed for no apparent reason.
That's just like ridiculously bizarre. Are the penguins really being blamed for the tariff mess?
Well, sort of. One of the officials, Howard Lutnick on CBS's Face the Nation, even made a joke about how the penguins are ripping us off.
Yeah, I caught that too.
But then he tried to justify it by saying those islands might be loopholes for countries like China, which honestly sounds pretty far-fetched.
It really does. I mean, using remote islands stuffed with penguins as a loophole, that's got to be a stretch, right?
Exactly. It's like trying to defend a skyscraper built on marshmallows. Experts quickly pointed out that any fraudulent shipments from such islands would be flagged by U.S. Customs right away.
So if I'm following, the whole thing not only shows a massive miscalculation, but also a kind of unintentional, almost absurd policy move targeting, well, literally penguins.
Yep, which is why it's such a mess. And if that wasn't enough, rumors also surfaced that Trump's team might have relied on ChatGPT to crunch these numbers.
Oh, really? That sounds reckless. Relying on AI for something as critical as a tariff calculation, doesn't that show a bit of overconfidence or disregard for proper checks?
Exactly. It's almost as if decisions were being finalized in a rush. There's even a source claiming that Trump himself only finalized the tariff decisions just moments before announcing them in the Rose Garden.
That timing is pretty alarming. Yeah, that sounds reckless. It really undermines investor confidence, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The miscalculation has led to global market turmoil, disrupted supply chains, and ironically, it has made companies way less likely to move manufacturing to the US. Investors are just wading through this chaotic storm.
It's like a domino effect. One error leads to widespread economic instability. But I've got to ask, did anyone actually try to justify this mess with serious economic rationale?
Well, the White House tried to cite research from Harvard economist Alberto Cavallo to back their approach, but even Cavallo distanced himself from it, saying he wasn't sure his work was even properly interpreted.
That sounds like a major misalignment. Right. It appears that there was a serious lack of oversight or even understanding, which is concerning. Doesn't it just reveal a fundamental weakness in how policies are being formulated?
It definitely does. I mean, imagine if a high school student were to spot such a glaring error. It's basic arithmetic, yet it still slipped through.
Can you imagine that? It's hard to believe that such a critical error could be made at this level. Do you think it reflects deeper systematic issues within the decision-making process?
Absolutely. It underscores not just incompetence, but a kind of systemic recklessness. The whole episode makes Trump's once-touted tariff sound almost like a punchline
almost as if it's become synonymous with chaos. And amidst all that chaos, one has to wonder, was this a genuine mistake or a sign of a deeper intentional disregard for economic detail?
That's a tough call. It seems like a mix of miscalculation and improvised decision-making. I mean, using retail prices instead of import prices indicates a fundamental misunderstanding of metrics.
Exactly. And that kind of error is basic, really. It almost feels like a comedy of errors, but with real-world economic consequences. Did the experts offer any solutions or proposed fixes?
Most analysts are calling for tighter oversight and a review of the entire tariff calculation process. They need to rework the formula with the correct base figures to restore global trust.
And in the meantime, the markets are just left reeling, right?
Precisely, global markets are unsettled by the uncertainty this error introduced. Companies are waiting on red flags before investing in the US, and the entire manufacturing landscape is basically in a freeze.
Yep, I can see that. It's like trying to rebuild a bridge when the foundation's already cracking. Everything's just too unstable.
Exactly, and this situation will likely be cited in economic textbooks as an example of what happens when something as seemingly basic as math is ignored or misapplied.
That's a strong lesson. True, but I do want to challenge one aspect. Do you really think relying on AI, like ChatGPT, adds another layer of recklessness? Or could it be seen as an innovative, albeit risky move?
That's a good point. While some might argue that using AI for complex calculations can enhance efficiency, here it clearly backfired due to a lack of human oversight. The error highlights that even advanced tools need proper calibration
Exactly. It's all
and
about balance,
understanding.
right? Exactly. A blend of human insight and technology is necessary, not just blind reliance on AI.
And as ridiculous as it sounds, this incident, with its penguin twist, also underscores the importance of verifying data sources and methodologies. You don't want to end up taxing a colony of penguins just because of a mix-up in numbers.
Right. Imagine the poor penguins getting hit with tariffs. It's almost surreal, like something out of a satire, yet it's impacting real economic policies. How do you think this will affect future tariff decisions?
I think policymakers will be forced to slow down and double-check their methods. These kinds of errors, especially on such a global scale, will likely push for more robust checks and maybe even a rethink of how tariffs are formulated.
Sounds like a necessary corrective step. It definitely serves as a wake-up call. Do you feel that this could change the public perception of how these economic decisions are made?
Without a doubt, this saga, with its mix of incompetence, chaotic decision-making, and bizarre inclusions like penguins, has already dented credibility. It's a powerful reminder that even high-level policy must be grounded in solid fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely.